Welcome to Glitch Cube, we're a gaming podcast, and each week we take a deeper look into the art of video games. I'm Christian.
I'm Chris.
And welcome back to another fun and exciting episode for you guys. We are super jazzed to have you guys back listening again. But before we jump into today's topic, is there anything out there this week that you want to shout out, plug, or you're just happy to see?
Going on vacation last week, I actually had some time to listen to some podcasts, which was kind of cool because I've been so busy just playing games that I haven't really had a chance to, but I finally caught up with actually re-listening to this one. But I checked out Main Quest,
Nice.
which was awesome, and Side Quest also as well. And I have a few other podcasts lined up as well that I'm going to finally get around to. Since my schedule now allows for more free time, I'm kind of happy to check out what other people have created and done. And oh my God, also just games. There's so many games to play right now and coming out. It's like overwhelming.
Yep. It's
fucking
crazy.
Metopia this week.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
I'm excited.
That's crazy. Another game this week. Biomutant. Come on.
Oh yeah! Wow, that came up already. Damn.
Yeah, that's coming out as of recording today. It's the 20th, and Biomutant actually comes out on the 25th, which is nuts. So that's gonna be really fun to play. And the footage I've seen of it so far, it looks amazing. I've been following this game since the beginning anyway, and I've been wanting to because it's adorable little critters. But the fact that they added basically like Devil May Cry fighting and like RPG elements and crazy crafting and just everything you can think of, like this game looks...
There's crafting?
Yeah, there's crafting in this game. And the crafting's nuts. So like you make your guns and melee weapons. And like let's say you find like a pair of scissors, right?
Mm-hmm.
You literally can tape your scissors to your weapon, like give it sharpening or like make it more lethal. And when you see your weapon, it's just scissors taped on. So it's just like super silly stuff like that. Like what I really enjoy about the crafting system, like it shows that they're not taking themselves too seriously, which is nice, but they've created an element of like real world crafting where you see every bit and bob that you put on there. Like if you find like a can and you put it on there as like a scope, you see the can as a scope. You know, like it's little things like that I think are just going to make this game that much more interesting to play visually, and just that much funnier. Everyone's going to have their own like custom looking characters and weapons, and everyone's going to look so different. I think that's just fantastic. So it's just whatever your play style is. And the character creator on there, it looks so funny. Like the fact that like, okay, let's say you want to be a brute, right? You want like to boost your...
Wait, you can create your own cat?
Yeah, you fully customize your character completely with class, race, everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And like there's a slider scale in which you can specialize in certain areas of like strength, intelligence, charisma. So like let's say you want to boost your strength stat, your head becomes small because you're dumber. And then your body is like all big and brutish, right? If you want to become more intelligent based, if you want to use magic more, then your head becomes super big and your body's like not as strong, so you're like scrawnier. Charisma, your character gets like a big cheesy grin on their face. Like it's really funny to see these little tweaks and stuff like that you can do, not just to your weapons, not just to like the color. It's literally like your character changes based on like the training, I guess you could say, that you've put your character through. So it looks crazy.
Wow, that sounds like everything I would want in a game. I'll definitely listen to what you have to say when you get it, because I'm like really curious on it, because I love all those ideas. Yeah, this is one I've always heard about, but like never really explored to find out more about it. But looking at it now, I'm like, damn, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think this game really does have the potential to be something different. And from what I've read and looked up so far, there's even different factions around the world that you can actually join, like separate factions. But then if you pick one faction, like they might be at war with a different one, and then you now become at war with that different area. So like your choices kind of matter in that aspect where you have to like pay attention to who you're siding with and who you start shit with, because then you might like break treaties or whatnot. Like that's kind of like the implementation that they're trying they seem to be trying to put into place, and to show just how vast this world can possibly be. So even if it's like half as much as what they're promising, I think it's just going to be a really fun and enjoyable game.
Damn. I know that week the Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne remaster comes out as well, which I think that's the one I'll pick up. But if you give a good enough rating on this one, I might have to jump on it too.
I mean, for sure, the Me game, of course, that one is going to be a no-brainer. I'm going to have to pick that one up. But the Biomutant one is definitely one that I've been pretty excited about for a while now. So hopefully it's half as good as what it looks like.
Hopefully.
I mean, no matter what, I think I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, it's adorable little critters that fight and they mutate. So
yeah, the action looks great. Yeah. Like I don't want to say it looks like it reminds me of those like older, like PlayStation 2 era kind of like exploration action game, but actually runs well and looks nice. Yeah, I think I'll definitely check this one out.
And real quick, I shouted out Biomutant like crazy, and that is definitely something that I wanted to plug this week. But I do want to kind of throw a question out there or do a little bit of a shout out, because I realized that Stargate was on Netflix, and I kind of lost some time watching that, rewatching the original movie and then like going back to the show and all that. And I just wanted to kind of throw it out there to you guys, throw it out to everybody, even to you, Chris. Like what are some like nostalgic, shows or movies that just really get you going, that like bring you back and that you can just kind of watch over and over again and just enjoy? Or something that you see on a list that you feel like you totally forgot about and you're like, oh my God, like this brings back such good memories, and I want to, like you're just happy to watch it again.
So for me, a lot of it is like animated movies and stuff. The one movie that I had forgotten the name of for like decades, right? Well, I don't want to sound that old, but
we're getting there.
As a kid, I loved this movie because the way it looked, everything about it was awesome, but I forgot the name. And recently I found out The Flight of Dragons.
I don't know that one.
It's, if I recall, the story starts with this guy who's in a bookstore and he gets sucked into this like fantasy world. And it's old. It's an 80s movie. I saw it in the 90s, so I'm not that old, but it's it was just, I don't know, seeing like an image from it, I'm like, whoa, like this takes me back. Like it's weird. I rewatched it recently and I was like, all the feels came back. Like I was like, oh my God, this is my childhood. Even though like I only saw that movie once as a kid, it was one that stuck with me, and I think about a lot of the cartoons that I watched in the 90s, like Five Goes West and like All Dogs Go to Heaven and all that kind of stuff. For me, like those kind of movies like really bring me back.
Right.
I think for me too, just Star Trek, because my brother watched it a lot.
You can't go wrong with that.
We just started watching Discovery, which is one of the newer series of it. It's actually good.
Yeah.
It's fast paced, which is nice because sometimes like
some of those episodes could
Next
drag.
Generation's a little slow. Yeah. I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I've been definitely trying to catch up on like shows that were around when I was younger, because people talk highly of some of these shows. So I'm trying to catch up and see things, and it's cool. I don't know. It's knowing that was around when I was younger. It's just, I don't know, it brings me back.
Nice.
But anything else with you, or just Stargate?
Right now, just big on Stargate. But like looking back and thinking, when you mentioned like movies from childhood, one that always like caught my eye, and I never really met anyone that watched it, either, and all my friends, and I could never like talk about it. And when I was younger, I could never even remember the title, but because I just picked it up randomly once on a Blockbuster trip. But The Phantom Toll Booth, I freaking love that movie, and it's one of those that it's like one of those like hidden gems where it's like, oh, the land of rhyme and reason. It's such a weird film, but I freaking love that thing. And if you haven't checked it out, definitely like look it up. It's super bizarre. And I feel like it's one of those movies that like when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I do remember watching this. Like it's such like a weird hidden gem film that is just fantastic.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but looking at the pictures, it looks like something I'd be into.
Yeah, I don't even know how to fully explain it because it's been so long since I watched this thing. But it's one of those that like holds a strong place in my heart, and I don't know, it's just super weird and bizarre, but just such a great little film.
It looks really cool, actually.
Yeah, it's super weird.
I think I'll have to definitely check this out.
It's classic. It really is. And it was in that weird era of like animation that I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's definitely a good one.
I love that style of animation though. The darker color palette and everything.
Yeah. And this one kind of gets pretty like trippy and a little dark. So it was back in the time when animation was like actually designed to scare your children. Like how like original Disney movies were scary. Like they were kind of freaky. And it kind of like plays back into like the grim tales where like a lot of the stories originated from. Those fairy tales weren't happy stories. They were always like a little dark to kind of teach a lesson to these kids to scare them straight.
Mm-hmm.
And this film has like that style of animation to it.
I'm gonna have to find this.
Yeah. I mean, they even have, oh my gosh, the faceless demon. What's his name? The Terrible Trivium. Yeah.
That's a cool name.
A really cool name. And this character design, man, maybe that's, and looking back, that might be a reason for some of the nightmares that I've had in my past. Because this guy
still haunts you.
Well, he's just a really well-dressed, dapper man. He's all blue, but
oh yeah, I see a picture.
But no face, and like his hands don't connect to his body. It's just very strange character. Well, all right, here we go. We're going to be going into today's topic, and we're going back to something that we have done before in the past, but it was just so much fun, and we kind of mentioned it a few episodes ago that we wanted to do it again, and it just kind of inspired us to change things up and change up the rules a little bit. So we are going to be going back and making a game once again.
Yay!
We get to flex our improv and imagination skills real quick, but we are changing it up this time round. What we did is we comprised a list of 20 different game genres, and I have a wonderful little D20 here. And for those of you that don't know, a D20 is a 20-sided dice, usually used in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, one of my favorite places.
What's Dungeons and Dragons?
What's Dungeons and Dragons, you say? Oh my gosh, well, it's actually anything that you ever want it to be. It is the world of imagination built in a fantasy realm that can be just anything that you possibly want. It is a role-playing tabletop game where all the decisions you make are based on random happen chance, and those random chances and situations are figured out through the rolls of dice. And there's different dice from D4s, which is 4-sided die, all the way up to D100s, which are percentile dice that can really, really fuck things up. Those are usually used for some crazy situations, but they are definitely fun to bust out when you need them. So we are going to be doing some genre bending this week, and we are going to be rolling the dice twice on our list. And then we will be combining two genres and trying to comprise a game from that and kind of just see where it goes from there. So,
I'm excited.
Well, All right, there, adventurers. We are ready for our first roll of the dice to see what genre we happen to get here. So let's see what we got. Do you want to roll one and then I'll roll one, and then we kind of like comprise the two together that way?
Yeah, I'll gladly roll my digital
He's
D20.
got digital. Don't worry, I got my analog. All right, go ahead. Let's see what roll you get.
Oh boy. Of course. I got one.
Number one on our list is RPG. So let's give this a roll and see what we will be combining RPG with. I got a 13, and so RPG adventure. That's pretty classic right there. So we can kind of go almost in any direction we want with that one, honestly.
I like this. This will be easy.
So for this one, I think we can kind of keep it simple. Let's do maybe just like game premise, maybe a little bit of mechanics, but we probably don't have to go in too far with that one. But so what kind of game, like there's so many RPGs out there, so many different adventure games. What does the world need right now in terms of RPGs and adventures? What would be an interesting world or setting for that?
I feel like maybe like a modern take, like a Persona Shin Megami Tensei style. Like I feel like it's an era that not many, especially RPG adventure games, really do, because it's always high fantasy or futuristic. Like you never really see a whole lot of modern day, and I think it would be really cool. Like make it different than, say, Persona, where not in a high school setting, but make it like, say, your average person, right? Say they lost their job and now they need to find a job that's going to make them, like, I don't know, I guess the ultimate happiness is the prize. So you got to like level up your stats. You got to level up your skills so you can handle these jobs. And say there's like, I don't know, like 40 different jobs, and it ends up being like a job class system. And say you have to fight. When I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this game that was on the Dreamcast called Sega Gaga, which is like you're in the Sega headquarters and you're fighting like characters from that, like their franchises, basically, and stuff. Yeah, it's really weird. And it never came out over here, but I'm kind of thinking something like that, where you're starting your new job and there's different levels to this high rise. And in order to become the boss of it, you have to take on different job classes in these different floors. So that way the mechanics are always changing, right? And each floor will have a boss. So basically, I guess it comes down to, this turns more into like a dungeon crawl, which I guess you can make that into an adventure.
Yeah. I mean,
what about you? What do you think?
I do like the take on the modern idea, and as soon as you said that, my brain went to Dimension 20, because one of the campaigns that they did that I think is just fantastic is called the Unsleeping City, and that one's set in modern day New York, but it has like fantasy D&D elements where there's a world behind the world that we're seeing, right? Like there's a magic world behind the one that we know of. And that's very like, kind of like Shin Megami. It's like very, those style games. But I feel like that has like a fun element to it where there are people who can see the magic. Like even like there's a cop in there that's just a normal cop that everyone can see. But then if you can see magic, you realize, oh, this person is a centaur. Right? So it's like super trippy that way, where people who you might be walking next to or interacting with, they actually are like fantasy beasts, but because you can't see magic, you don't know it, right? So like what, like taking this whole idea of like maybe you're trying to get through life, right? And you're trying to work your way up to this company, but then you realize that like the company isn't exactly what it seems to be, right? We can kind of play on that, like kind of a classic more trope, right? Where then you start like finding out like the inner secrets. The more you level up, the more like the higher positions that you get, and you realize maybe it's like it doesn't have to be like fantastical. Maybe it could be more of like Illuminati-ish, right? Where like there's a secret underground business to this, and maybe like the attacking sequences could be something more like kind of like espionage-y, right? So like you can level up like your hacking skills to be able to find more documents. You level up certain things like your charisma stats to make sure that you're able to get better choices in conversations you have to kind of like cover your trail and also move yourself up the ladder so that you can figure out things more and more as you move up, right? And then like eventually it could be like taking down the company from the inside kind of deal, where it's like, okay, like now we have all these secrets, basically like go like full WikiLeaks on it, right? Like send out everything that like this company's been doing, all the shitty stuff, like could be even like, you know, human trafficking and all that, and you unleash that into the world. But as you're moving along to bring in that RPG element, you're leveling up your character's like basic stats to kind of figure out little secrets. Like maybe you can kind of befriend a hacker along the way that gives you little like tech tools, like a USB that has like extra firewalls, right? Like maybe that could be like a defensive spell or something like that, or like I don't know, like little things like that. Like you can even start like depending on like charisma stats and certain ways that you answer like conversation prompts. Maybe certain people will join your team and they'll become like kind of like loyal followers of you that will give you then like help actions later on in the game, or like unlock different conversation choices as you're fighting. Maybe that's like kind of like the fights is more like kind of like Disco Elysium style, right? Where they're like conversation based, right? Where like if you say the wrong thing, then you can be like embarrassed, or like your job stats might go down and they might start trying to like knock you down a few pegs, and you could even get like demoted, and then you have to find like a different path back up, or like figure out how to get through the system once again. I think that could be really interesting.
I like that. And this is a little divergent of the whole like thing we were starting with, but something you brought up with like the like kind of like street and all of that, and I'm thinking, what if, hear me out, take the premise of like street art, right? So you're a character, you're a kid, or you can be whatever you want, whatever, but you are a street artist and you're noticing your city is being overtaken by some evil power. It can be anything, but through the power of graffiti you invoke like symbols which cast magic, and kind of like what you were saying where people could be like an alternate being, right? Like the cop would be like a centaur or something like that. Like you have this power where you can see that in people, and through your street art you can cast spells or you can open new passageways for your adventure. So it's kind of like putting symbols down, and you know, you can create your own tags. So like if it would create like a little editor where you can make your own like graffiti kind of.
I love that. That's a cool idea.
And like basically your goal is to, this evil power wants to do away with creativity, like with street art, right? And you're trying to fight to keep it going. So you're like going after this huge like conglomerate, and through your power you're supposed to like bring life back to this black world.
What
like,
if
void of any
what if
color.
it's trying to kind of remove, like make people more ignorant, right? Because like when like a lot of like sci-fi novels and things like that do this, or sci-fi stories, whenever they're trying to control a nation, they like kind of abolish learning or the written word or education, writing, right? reading and writing, what if that's kind of like the ultimate goal is these glyphs or like these tags that get put up, they actually kind of put up like a guise or like a glamour that kind of hypnotizes the world so that they're becoming more and more like kind of ignorant and
Aware.
taking things as on like face value, right? And then you find ways, like if you tag over their stuff, you can kind of like break that glamour for the area for a little bit. And you then can start like deciphering their tags and doing different combinations to then fight back against that system. And like kind of set up things where people stay aware, stay awake, and are able to actually see things as they are, like in like, you know, it could be like They Live style where they put on the glasses and all of a sudden they see aliens for what they really are, right? Like that kind of stuff where like when you break the glamour, that like the real world shows through and it's more kind of like a fantastical world. And it turns out it's being run by like this, you know, it could be like, like Balrog style demons, right? And like the main demon could be like even the president or whatever it is, and like allowing these certain like glyphs and glamours to be put up around the world as tags, because it's something that is like, it's interesting to think about, like the fact that graffiti, as much like I love graffiti, and the fact that it is everywhere and it like you can see it no matter what, and like it almost becomes like background noise now.
Yeah.
Where like that's how they've been able to keep us like subdued. And you going over the tags and like basically breaking that spell, you're waking people up.
I love this idea.
Oh, that's great. That's fun.
Yeah, because I'm just picturing like maybe like a system almost like Okami, where you just kind of like you get a screen where you can get your little brush and then you just like paint crap over it.
Oh, that's great.
And it brings color back to the area.
Or even like kind of like Pokemon Go style, where you can walk around your city and throw up different glyphs on different like corners and establishments, like Google Map style.
Ooh.
Right. And then that way you get like a whole world idea incorporated into it. And like maybe like, let's say you go travel to a different country, instead of getting like, you know, like, oh, Farfetch'd is only in this area. Like it's, you see different glyphs and styles that have like different combination of spells that are kind of more attuned to that area. And then you can bring those back to where you live because you've collected them and you've analyzed them and now you know how to use them.
Oh, that's really cool too.
I like it. The written word. It's powerful. It's powerful. Hey, everybody. Just jumping in real quick. Just want to say, first of all, thank you for continuing listening. And obviously you're enjoying it because you've reached the middle of our episode. But before we continue on, we just wanted to remind you all that if you are truly enjoying what you're hearing and you want to learn some more about us, you can find us on social medias, and we have links in our description, and you can find me and all the drawings that I'm doing on Instagram at Kieran, and that's Keuran. What about you, Chris?
You can find me at Sloppy Cube on Instagram. That's Sloppy and Cube at the end of it. I do all retro games or just games in general, so if that's your thing, check me out. You can also message me about ideas and anything, because I love talking.
Yep, we both really enjoy talking, obviously, because we are recording a podcast. So if you want to join in the conversation, please reach out to us on the Discord, and let's get right back into this episode. Well, all right, Adventure. Are you ready to try out a different role? Because I think that was a really good one. I think we should at least do one more combination and see where we go from there.
I think we should do multiple.
Right.
You want to roll this time?
Yeah, I'll start it out. Let's see what we get here. Let me pull up our fun list real fast. All right, here we go. I got Adventure again. Do we want to re-roll since we've already used it?
Yeah.
17, party game. Hell yeah. Bring the fun. All right. So what are we genre bending with party style?
So I got a 6, which is FPS.
Ooh, an FPS party game?
Yeah, this one's going to take some thought.
Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so let's just kind of like break these down before we try and genre bend real quick, right? So party game, what do you think of? What's the classics? Like obviously Mario Party, right? Jackbox, those kind of games. So and then FPSs, your Halos, your Call of Duties, your those kind of style, like just quick paced action games, right? So what makes a party game a party game? Is it mini games? Is it... Because, I mean, you could just make like an FPS co-op game, but I wouldn't consider that a party game, right? So there has to be a sense of like a scoring system and then like a clear winner at the end, right? And I guess so how do you make FPS mini games?
You have to remember too, because it's, it would be easy if it's like not a local co-op party game. Like if this was like where like you and I could play like when we're at different consoles or computers, this would be a lot easier. But I'm trying to think of like, Mario Party style where everybody is on the same TV or screen and like they all share it. It would have to be like, say, like a four split screen, So I'm thinking there was that one game where you can't look at the other person's screen or whatever.
Oh, a screen.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But you can include mini games. I mean,
what's a fun setting? Like maybe for like this one, what if it like the setting for it is like for this generation out here, you might not know, but we used to go outside a lot and basically have to stay outside till the lights came on. At least that was the rule that my mom gave me. And you would have to figure out shit to do, right? And sometimes you would just like, if like someone got a slingshot, then that's what you would do that day or for the next couple weeks, honestly, was go around and like figure out how, like what different things you can shoot with a slingshot. So what if it's like you're a kid outside in summertime, right? It's summer vacation and you're just with your friends out there in the various fields. Like the different maps could be like the woods, it could be like the cul-de-sac, it could be like the baseball diamond, right? So those are the different maps that you're gonna be playing on. And it could be like a battle system where like you're trying to take each other out, where you're using various tools that would have been used as like a kid, right? So like let's say maybe one weapon could be like a laser tag gun, right? Another one could be a slingshot. One could be like literally like a spitball, like a straw with a wadded up piece of paper that you shoot at somebody. And like the mini games could be something like, like quick target practice too, if there's like mini games thrown in. But the main one would be more like kind of like quick paced fighting, like battle it out between your buddies.
So I was thinking something like that, but like, how about like the different mini games? Like there's one where it's kind of like a Portal-esque kind of thing where like two people are trying to get out of this like area by using like portals to get out, and the other two people, so this would end up being like a 2v2 kind of mini game. The other ones are trying to, they can alter those portals to send them somewhere else. So say like, there's like fall pits where you could fall and die. So the person could hit that portal, and if someone goes through it, instead of taking them to the other side of, say, the canyon, it would launch them into a pit of lava. And basically like this party game, there would be some games where like where it's all versus each other, like kind of like a death match. So there could be a death match, like your typical FPS kind of matchmaking stuff you could throw in there. But I'm thinking like, what if, say, Everything I keep thinking of goes back to kind of like some sort of like PvP. I'm trying to think of like ways you can do it without it being PvP. I guess, you know how sometimes they have the game where it's like 1 versus 3 or whatever like that. You could do it where one character has to escape this area and like the other 3 people are like enemies on the screen, like different styles, and you have to like hide from them. Or there's like,
it's like, what if it's like tag?
Yeah.
Right? Or like paintball tag or whatever it may be, right? Or like you can use the various like, because I'm thinking like the whimsy route might be the fun one to like continue or to move forward.
I think so
like,
too, like a backyard kind of thing.
Yeah, like backyard brawling or whatever it may be, right? Like just something stupid, like or like where like these kids' imaginations are what is like fueling it, right? So like you can have like a you know, like a tank class, but it's just a kid in like cardboard armor, right? Like just kind of like funny little things like that. But like maybe like the 1v3 mini game could be something like it's like paintball tag or whatever, right? Or like the 2v2s could be like, even it could be like a search and rescue, right? Or something like that, like where like, oh, you got to catch your neighbor's dog before your other friends do, right? Or something silly like that one, where like you can stun the other party by hitting them with the weapons that you have, so like it still stays within the FPS realm, right? Or like the free-for-alls could be just like either like just PvP battles, or it could be like quick target practice, where it's like little like hand-painted like cheesy targets put around like the cul-de-sac, and you have to run around and hit targets. Or like it could be other friends that are like dressed up as enemies, and like whoever gets the most points by shooting the most enemies that pop up like win that round, right? And there's like little like secret ones where it's like, oh, your little brother is, because he's so small, like he's hiding and running around in like a tree or something, right? And like super hard to spot, but he gives you like 10 points if you get him, right? Like little things like that, I think it would be really fun.
I actually really like that. Now that like I'm thinking of it in a way as like, you know, you're in your backyard, or you're like in an outing kind of place, I feel like you could do a lot with that.
Yeah. I think that's fun. That'd be a fun one. It's super simple, but it's a cute little design, and I think that's like that would really speak well to people's like nostalgia strings, right?
I like it. I would play it.
I'd play the hell out of that. I think that'd be really fun. All right. Do you want to try and roll? Let's do a genre bend of one more quick one. See where we go from there.
I'm down.
All right. Do you want to roll first and see what we get?
Yes. Let's see. Why do I keep getting 1? Oh my god.
It's weird that welcome to the world of Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs. Even though it's supposed to be random, there's always like it feels like you get the same thing more and more.
Yeah, I keep getting like the same damn numbers. Oh, here we go. 18, racing.
18, racing game. All right. A genre that I am not very familiar with.
I kind of am, weirdly enough.
Ooh, okay, so let me reroll that. I got a 17 again. Okay, we have an MMO racing game.
Oh, this is easy.
Yeah,
it's Cars, but as an MMO. Like the movie.
Like the movie Cars. So it's just a bunch of anatomically like are all the cars anatomically correct cars running around?
No, they're gonna be having fat backs and weird little faces on them.
Oh gosh. So you're just a car. You're a sentient car, and you cruise around. You're just driving, and there's like races that you can do.
Races, but how about this, right? So I'm kind of comparing this to like Final Fantasy 14, right? So that your embodiment, you're like the engine, right? Different class systems could be different kind of cars. So you could be a truck. So you'd be kind of like a tank. Well, I guess tanks could be in it because they're vehicles too. But think about like a hatchback that's going to be your like rogue because it's like fast paced, it's quick, it's sneaky.
So we have like a Volkswagen GTI as like a rogue class.
Yeah.
Right. And then like a tank class could be like a Jeep Wrangler, right? It just rolls up, it's
Yeah,
off-roading.
Wrangles.
Anything like off-road. Right. There you go.
We got your mage, which is
Ooh, the Honda Civic.
see, I feel like the Honda Civic would be like that, like all-rounder class. Like it would be like that class that just kind of gets, it'd be like a red mage, I guess you could think.
What would be just a basic, what's a black mage car? And then now that I'm thinking about that, I want it.
An electric car?
Right.
That deals with the elements.
Like a Tesla?
It could be a Tesla, yeah. I'm thinking like what a PT Cruiser would be like, or a Fiat.
Oh, that PT Cruiser would be just like a Paladin. Praise the sun.
But so you'd have these different classes, right? And
okay,
with the races, it would basically be, those would be the dungeons, right? So there's a game on the PlayStation 2 called Koro Q where it's a car game, but it's an RPG. And you can drive around the town and, upgrade your car and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of a cute, interesting little game that a lot of people consider a hidden gem, but I never got too far into it. But I'm thinking in terms of that, where like you drive around to different towns, different places, you can upgrade your car depending on your class, and the dungeons are basically races. And I mean, you can make these races as dark as you want. It doesn't have to be like your typical Forza kind of race where it's just get to the end. Like you could incorporate kart mechanics, so like Mario Kart, where you can launch stuff at other players. You could, based off of your class, like you would need certain classes to kind of like progress better in these dungeons. So you would need a tank car. You would need like a healer car, so you'd be driving in there with a Wrangler, PT loser, and all of that kind of stuff. And
right,
you would need to make it, but it's.
I really like that. So okay, like each different car has like a different subclass to it, right? So and instead of just straight like running up to an enemy on the field and fighting them, you are racing, right? So, but in the race, like I do love the idea of the kart mechanics where each one, like let's say you're a bard class, right? And it's just an Astro van with like some fantasy portrait painted on the side of it. And you roll up to your buddies and you start blasting some like heavy metal or whatever. And like everyone gets like haste, right? So like they all drive a little bit faster for that turn, right? Or for like a short amount of time. Let's say like 30 seconds, everyone gets a speed boost. And the goal is to, like, let's say you're fighting, like, they have raid bosses, because that's a big thing for MMO. Like, let's say you're going up against some crazy fast car, and the point is to beat the car in a race. It could be anyone in your party beats him in the race, but as you're going through, you're, like, battling the other car to give it, like, different boons or, like buffs and debuffs as you're going through. And, like, you have, like, the tank class car that's just, like, a big, beefy, like in like H3 that can just go up and just hit that car and slow them down. And then you have like the rogue class that like maybe comes up from behind. If it like hits it in the back, it gets like extra damage to the car, or like kind of like throws it off. Or you can even like, I guess
it's
like
got like knives on its wheels, so when you like don't want to be like frontal like damage, you kind of want to be swift and quick on the sides.
It's like Death Race, right? Or like even like a old like beater car that just blows out a bunch of exhaust. Like if you get in front of the enemy cars, you can like poison damage them with the exhaust pipe of you just like blowing out too much.
What if, so like how you're saying with these cars, what if that's the things you can buy, or like your subclasses, right? So like going back to how the Bard was, what if the Bard was like a subclass? So say you have your car and you can purchase a a better sound system, right? And obviously the better systems you get, the better your buffs and debuffs will be. So like the music, like you said, will be like what buffs people, what debuffs enemies. And what if like the boss fights was like a Twisted Metal kind of thing, where it's like you have to like just bash on each other the whole time.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's where the different classes and equipment you get will differ, because some will launch oil on the ground, or, you know, like they would buy the part like, I don't know, leaky radiator, and it has the strength of it is that it would leave spills so cars wouldn't be able to drive right. But the debuff of equipping that would mean like your car would run worse or something like that. Like a lot of these parts that have like strong ways of messing with the enemy would also hurt you too, because it would make your car weaker. And like the game, like dungeons would be like a race, and then the boss fight would be like a Twisted Metal. And then you think about like raids, and it could just be like it would be like a 3 race, like kind of like tournament. And then as a raid, obviously you need more players, so it would just be this huge, I don't know, like 34 car Twisted Metal battle royale kind of thing, where it's just
like a cannonball race where you're going across country. So it's a longer race, but like you're setting up little like traps and shit like that as you're going along, or like speed boosts for your buddies or whatever it may be, or like damage boosting things and whatnot.
Yeah. Like the top 10 of that race are going to have to now duke it out. And the top 3 are the ones that win.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see this happen.
That sounds fun. Like that sounds like that can have some...
It sounds like a fresh take on like these car games like Wreckfest and stuff. Like this actually sounds... Yeah. It seems like it'd be really difficult to implement, but I feel like it would be something that it would be like a hype game, right? People would be really into it for a bit, but I don't see it being like big forever. But
no, but it'd be fun for a while.
Yeah, it'd be different. You could really have fun with like the different alterations for the cars, and I don't know. I think it'd be cool. You know, get some licensing in there so you can get like actual car. It'd be cool. I'd be down for it.
Yeah. Even throw in like some concept cars, like if Tesla gets involved, you got their weird truck in there.
Yeah,
that,
the polygons.
Do some crazy, some weird like Martian tactics.
So I was thinking, why not do one more game, right?
All right, speed round it.
But this one's going to be different, right? There's no rolling dice. It is, so I don't know why. I went back to that one generator thing we had, right? And I was just kind of playing around with it, and I got one on here that actually sounds kind of fun. And I was thinking, why not? This one can be short.
Let's do it.
But the genre, survival horror. Rule, magic gone wrong. Setting, mafia. And the theme, rich versus poor.
Ooh. Oh, that's like a perfect game setup.
I know, I kind of like it because the mafia and rich versus poor kind of goes together pretty well.
The magic gone wrong, I love that kind of mechanic. Like, there's a mechanic in D&D that they use called wild magic, and it's basically when you roll, like, let's say, it can be used for a lot of different things, but one of them that's kind of I've seen most commonly used is when someone's not familiar with their magical abilities, you can have them roll on the wild magic table, and that would be like a D100. And whenever they roll on it, they cast their spell, but then they also roll for wild magic, and that effect happens too. And it could be something like catastrophic where it's like, oh, you explode, right? Like that would be like the ultimate, like, oh, fuck. Or it could even be like you all of a sudden now grow a beard of feathers, right? Like it's just like super, super random, super crazy stuff. So, okay, let's say you are like street urchin style kid, right? You're poor and you're trying to come up in the world, and you end up going in and like finding like your way into the mafia, right? And the reason why the mafia is able to stay away from the cops and all that is because they're actually magic beings, right? So like there's like a hidden secret society to that aspect. And you being new off the street and the new member, you're now just kind of learning your magic, and you realize that what they're doing is wrong. And maybe let's say like background story thrown in there, the reason why your family is in such a hard place to begin with is because like the Dawn like fucked over your family, right? So now you're using this magic that you're learning from the mafia to then take down the mafia, right? But because you're new to it, you like some sort of like wild magic mechanic can get thrown in where like your spells can like fizzle out, right? Because you're just not super familiar with it. The more you use the abilities, the more familiar you get with them, and the more efficient like your spell casting becomes. But when you're first learning something, like it can go horribly wrong. It could just not work. Like let's say maybe you try and cast a fireball, but accidentally you cast like, you know, like some sort of like glamour spell on accident or something silly, right? But it's because you're just not 100% used to it yet. But the more you play, the more you level up, the more you go through the system, the better you are at your magical abilities. And then you can kind of like take down the Dawn from the inside.
I like that. That's actually totally different than what I had envisioned. That's actually kind of cool. I like that.
What'd you have? I'm curious now.
All right. So keeping the theme of survival horror, I was thinking, what if you are the Dawn and you are it's kind of like a Silent Hill kind of universe where everything around you is this dark kind of twisted world like setting, and basically you know how Silent Hill, like everything has a reason playing on that person's life, like the wrongdoings usually, right? So you're basically stuck in this, you know, area that you were the Dawn of, and you're looking back on all the messed up things that you either made the decision to or did yourself, right? So as like the rich versus poor, you're going back and looking at like the poor that you kind of screwed over a lot. And the thing I'm trying to think is, how can I make magic work? But it could be because you're in this setting that, you know, you were that ultimate powerful person, and these spells you had in this alternate universe of like a, you know, Silent Hill kind of thing, it actually goes wrong. So you having like thinking back like what you did with like flames, right? Say you use these flames to, I don't know, torch a house one time. Instead, you're stuck in where, you know, instead of that, you're looking back at that day where you did that, and instead you're the one trapped in there because of your magic, right? So now you're looking back at like, what did this do to me, and what did it do to these people? And you're kind of like walking through the wrongdoings of your past life, and it's kind of like a redemption arc in the end.
Ooh, I like that.
I kind of got deep with it there for a minute, but
no, I like that a lot actually. So like, what if you're the Dawn, right? Like you have all this power already, like you're a super strong individual because you have all this pull in the community, but like you always, like, what do people in power want? They want more power, right? They just want to keep that reign strong. So let's say you make like a deal with the devil, right?
Ooh.
And like, you know, deal with the devil, classic like monkey paw situation where like you want to be like, I guess like the everything for your own world, right? Like you want to be the center of the universe kind of thing. But then you end up like, the devil's like, okay, great, like that'll, like your wish is granted, all this crap. But it turns out like, you know, kind of like Twilight Zone style where like, yeah, you are the center of this universe, but that universe is your own mind, and you're forced to replay these horrible acts that you've done, right? And like maybe that's kind of like the survival horror aspect of it, where it's like, yeah, sure, you are everything, you have everyone's attention, but guess what? That attention's not great because like it's the people that you've wronged, Like
Yes.
that's the kingdom that you rule over, is the kingdom of the people that you have wronged. And they're now trying to seek vengeance by making you go through the same ordeals that you put them through, but like in a more twisted, like fucked up way, right? Like you mentioned, like let's say you hired, like you told your boys to go and like just torch this guy and kill everyone, like the family, whatever, right? And now like there's a whole level where like you're going through a burning building, like everything's on fire, you're constantly like being hurt and like choking on smoke. Like the whole ordeal is just like you can't get out of this idea of like your body is constantly on fire and you have to work your way out of it, and like you're trying to basically, you know, get back at the devil for kind of, I guess you could say, like wronging you, but really it's like the whole, like, you know, be careful what you wish for. It's going to come back tenfold kind of thing. So like maybe that's like the redemption arc aspect of it, is like, yeah, sure. Like maybe at the end, like no matter what, like your soul's tortured forever because of the crap that you did, but you kind of have like more of like an acceptance aspect to it.
I really like this.
I think that'd be really cool.
Oh.
Ooh, we got some fun ones this week.
I know. Oh, you know, when you brought up like the D20 and all that, you know what I was thinking? This is a little sidestep, but what if there was a D40, right? And every time you rolled a D40, there would just be an E40 like clip every time it rolled. No? Oh. Well, it'd be kind of, I don't know. But yeah, that's my stupidity of the week.
I like it. That would be pretty funny, actually.
It'd make it a lot more fun. Be like a Def Jam kind of D&D campaign.
I love it. That would be perfect for like a bard class.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be pretty fun too. Oh God, the ideas. There's so many
now
ideas and so much things that you can
imagine
do.
a Def Jam Vendetta, but instead of just a fighting game, it's an RPG where you're an up and coming rapper. And like you gotta fight through like the big guys to like advance your career. Oh, this would be cool. And like your spells are your lyrics.
I love it. I love it.
Man.
You know what that means? I think that just means that we are going to have to revisit making a game once again in the near future. Yep. And for all you guys out there, what we're going to do, we are going to actually be posting up our 20 genre list. And I have a challenge for everyone out there. If you have listened to this episode, if you enjoyed it, if you're having fun with it, go out there, roll some dice. If you don't have any dice, like you can do what we did here today too, where if you just go on Google, you can roll a D20 and it does it for you. Let us know what genre bends you get, right? Let us know your ideas. Share it with us and just let us know all the fun things that your mind can come up with, because this is a really cool exercise to do in not just like a creative aspect, but just for fun, right? Just to kind of shoot the shit. And this is definitely something that we are going to be coming back to. If you have recommendations on other genres or other ways that we can grab different concepts and themes and put them together, let us know. Shout us out on all of our social medias, which we have links for in the show notes. Join the Discord, hop on there. Let's make some fun games together. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Do you have anything for them?
I think that's really it. You kind of summed up the last little bit I was going to say. So
cool.
I think we Gucci.
Sweet. All right. Well, once again, like always, thank you guys for listening. We've had a blast here this week, and I hope that you have had fun too. Don't forget to share this with some friends, because that is the best way for us to get out there, is through word of mouth of you guys. So yeah, please share it with some buddies. Let them know. Have some fun with this little game creator that we've kind of set up here. And we'll catch you guys next week. So,
bye.
Bye.